Okay, so we're talking about the travails of the political independent, knocking on doors and doing politics. Well, let's see. Yesterday there's the angry guy on the fourth floor who didn't like hearing my voice down in the street and started screaming at me and told me to get out of there and threw an empty bottle at me from the floor, plastic bottle, and missed. And when he came down later and wanted to tell me some more, I just said, sorry, what can I do? This is the spot where I gotta be. It only happens one time every 4 years. Anyway, he went away, and this morning got mad again. Yesterday I had 2 days ago I had a bunch of kids being sicked on me by some idiot across the street telling them to come and spit on me. And one kid was coming at me and let go a goober, and I got my sign in the way, and I went over there and I kicked the front of his wheel to push him backwards. Next thing you know, there's a cop coming at me. Leave the kid alone. And, wow, wonderful. I said, the kid's spitting on me. Cop says, I don't care. Leave the kid alone. Well, anyway, I didn't know what to do. What if they come back again? You know, am I going to have to sue him for civil damages if he spits on my coat? Well, I'm going to tell him if he spits on my coat, I'm going to bust his bike and I'm going to bust his spokes, and he can sue me back. I figured it's the only thing to do. Anyway, they didn't show up, luckily. So instead, yesterday, I end up with a cop on my back, Officer Butterfield, who decides that my stepping onto the roadway to hand people a piece of paper had to be ticketed, and so he gave me a $70 ticket, probably a first in Canadian history, cop busting a political candidate for solicit person and vehicle on roadway against the Safe Streets Act. And of course, I'm not stupid enough to get in the way of the cars and impede. I'm just handing out things to the drivers. And for the last 2 days, I've had to lean over and stay on the curb, miss a few people who were too far away, you know, just because some officer decides he wants to push me around. You know, anyway, I did a report online. You can read it at my site, but you're allowed to plead not guilty, and have a trial, which I'm going to do, in English or in French, which I'm going to do in French. Har, 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 I speak French. And let's see how well they handle a French trial in Brantford. And of course, then you got the media, and they were sleazy. I remember telling my best joke brought the house down, and they reported that TURMEL was laughed at instead of his joke. I mean, the story is as simple as, it's a women's group, 75 women out of 100 people, and they say, why aren't more women in Parliament, and what would your party do to get more women? And all the other parties said, yes, we need more women in Parliament, we're all working towards that. And I said, well, I don't care as long as the process is fair. But how come there aren't more women in Parliament? Could it be that Parliament's corrupt? Could it be that Parliament's sleazy? And by now the women know where I'm going and they're laughing. Could it be that there aren't as many women willing to get down in the dirt with the corporate pigs as men? By now the women are rolling in the aisles, and I turn to the 3 women candidates out of 6 and say, but they're learning. And the rest of the house came down. And there was Alison von Bargen, the reporter for the Expositor, wrote that TURMEL was laughed at. Well, some nights the audience is in the palm of your hands, and I came up with 3-4 solid, good, witty jokes, and that was a real sleazy distortion by the media. So it's kind of sad when the media not only give all their attention to the major parties, but then they smear you and distort what you say even when they think you don't have a chance of winning. Isn't that terrible? They couldn't even tell the truth about the guy they don't expect to win. So anyway, that's what politics is like in Canada.